everyone, welcome back to Secrets Within. I'm your host, Reeni. I have a couple announcements before we get started on our topic tonight. And one, I just want to let you guys know that I will not be on next week. I have something going on. Also on the 17th, Missouri Paranormal Association will be on. We have some exciting news to share with you guys. Like I said, that's on the 17th. Also, this is kind of important. To me, it is anyway. The station now has a Patreon. So if you guys could help out in any way possible, that'd be great. And it's just to help the station grow. Now, this is the most important, and to me it is, again, there is a live on Saturday, 9/11, 20 years later. It's a tribute. So please, whatever you do, make sure that you guys listen in on Saturday, 9/11, 20 years later, a tribute, please. It's going to be a great show. Anyways, so the topic tonight is twin flames. And I get a lot of questions asking about twin flames and how, if somebody's met their twin flame, how can you determine if, you know, your twin flame is your soulmate, all that jazz. So I'm going to tell you this before I even begin to discuss this. I want to say, don't cheat on your significant other just because you met your twin flame. That's technically not how this is supposed to work, in my eyes anyways, and I don't condone that. But I want to start out by, I get a lot of questions. What is a twin flame? A twin flame is your own soul shared across what appears to be two physical beings. It's basically your soul split into two bodies. When the soul is created, it splits into two parts. They mirror each other constantly, and they're trying just to reconnect with one another. Now, again, there's another question. Are they technically meant to be together? Now, a lot of people are saying, and I've done a lot of research on this, that says they're basically a woman and a female. Okay. I kind of want to beg to differ on that one, and I'm going to tell you why. I believe that two women can be a twin flame, and I'm going to kind of go into that. Technically, I have met my twin flame, and unfortunately, she could not be on tonight. She has got some health issues that she kind of needs to address. Anyways, and I'm only saying that is, again, two women can be twin flames. So kind of how I met her, kind of like a breakdown. I kind of met her when I was kind of living in Minnesota. You're kind of having some issues at that house. I'd love to do a topic on that one day, but right now we're not going to. I'm not going to really get into that. So she is a psychic medium, and kind of got hooked up with her as far as calling a team that I knew in Illinois when I was living there. Well, living in Minnesota, sorry. So anyways, again, never met the girl a day in my life, and we spent like 3 hours on the phone. And what was supposed to be helping me what was going on in my house turns out that we just randomly came up with just all kinds of weird topics. And that's kind of how that relationship went. So she was living in Louisiana at the time. She moved there because she's, from Illinois as well. So we actually took a trip down to Louisiana, and I actually got to meet her for the first time. So it was just kind of one of those instant connection type things. We kind of didn't know that she was my twin flame at that point. But throughout the course of the years, doing some soul searching on myself and, you know, whatnot, that's where we're at. Anyway, so I do want to say that they don't technically have to be, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It's basically a spiritual connection, basically where you just feel kind of that familiarity with a person, be a friend, even an acquaintance, like somebody kind of just maybe just work with. Just kind of feel like that homey feeling. Then, what is a twin flame relationship like? When two people are perfect matches as a result of shared pain or another difficulty, this is a difference between a twin flame and a life partner. Soulmate, really, they kind of do exist. Now, a soulmate. Now, I have been with my fiance for 15 years, 2 wonderful kids together. I will not consider him my twin flame, but he definitely is my soulmate. You know, my partner in crime, all that good jazz, you know, or that relationship where you kind of want to spend the rest of your life together. You leave your clothes on the floor. Might kind of want to throw them away. You know how that goes. We've all, you know, you have your ups and downs. Your life partner. So, what is the purpose of a twin flame love? Okay, so I kind of just want to run it down for you. Again, once you reach a certain level of consciousness in life, meeting your twin flame will catalyze your growth for a divine purpose. When you meet your twin flame, you will feel as if you're whole again. Like I said, again, I'm going to go back to my twin flame relationship. There was a little bit of an issue, and I will say this, we didn't talk for 4 months. And to be honest with you, I can't remember why we didn't talk. But I will tell you this, it's not that I didn't think about her every day, and I'm sure she thought about me every day. And I'm just not that type of person that's going to reach out and say, well, hey, like, I didn't do anything wrong, but you did something wrong. It's kind of that vice versa type thing. So about 4 months later, she reaches out to me and she's like, hey, there's something in my house. You know, can you help me with that? And that's kind of how she started that whole conversation. And of course, not only is she my twin flame, but she's also my best friend. And I miss my best friend. So again, 4 months later, we're back together again. And I know recently she's had some tragic events in her life that I'm not going to say what they were or whatnot. And that was hard. When, I helped her get through that. And she just recently got married a couple months ago, and the timing wasn't right. And me being who I am, and given the relationship that we have, I let it out all on the table and told her it just was bad timing, wasn't a good idea. I personally didn't think she knew the guy well enough. Sorry, Chad. I'm sure you're a great guy. But that's just kind of how I felt. So again, it's not all sunshine. It's harsh reflections and a lot of shadow work. And like I said, as you mirror your twin flames, they can reflect your weakness and areas of your greatest strength. And I will say what she lacks, I'm stronger in, and what I lack, she's stronger in. And I know a lot of people are like, well, how do you know? How do you know? I just know. kind of one of those. It's hard for me to describe. Again, a lot of people, and I know a lot of Facebook groups and so on and so forth, were like, "There's no possible way. There's no possible way. There's a possible way." Just like anybody can be soulmates, if you think about it. Jokingly, my fiance jokes that my sister-in-law are soulmates. It's kind of funny. And then when I think about it, it's like, something were to happen to him, I'm stuck with her because, you know, she technically is a really good friend of mine. It is an ongoing joke. So, anyways, but I will say their presence, it kind of feels like there's this weird spell of intense, rapid personal growth, transformation type thing. Like I said, it's a lot of shadow work. You can't just say, you know, I met this person and it was just great. And I'm just going to spend the rest of my life with this person, or we're just going to be BFFs, or whatever that situation may be. It doesn't work like that. Again, we all have other friends, you know, other relationships. And if there is, you know, if you do meet up, for an example, if I'm just using this as an example, I met a guy who was my twin flame. That doesn't necessarily mean that I have to leave the person that I chose to spend my life with. And he doesn't have to leave the person that he's spending his life with. That becomes sticky. And then, you know, it's kind of that runner, that chaser type thing. Maybe I won't talk to you today, but maybe I'll talk to you tomorrow, or maybe I just don't want to deal with you right now. Because there's always some of that. There's the runner, there's the chaser. Again, you can't force the relationship. So, like I said, a twin flame relationship isn't love, isn't about love. It's life partners are based on that. And that's kind of where I was getting at. Again, your life partner is someone you have true love for. Again, I can't tell you what true love means to you, and I'm not going to tell you what true love means to me, but I will tell you that I'm very committed to my relationship, and nothing would change that. So again, it brings me to another thing. A false twin flame. So that is the biggest thing. Right there, when you think that you might have met them, they kind of start bringing up that the traumas that you've had, your anxieties, the hurts, previous, you know, experience rather than forcing you to do the work on your, can't even talk tonight, on your current and future problems. And that is the truth. Just because you have this, you meet somebody and you're like, okay, this is just, I just feel this weird awakening and the ground shaking and whatnot. That probably is a false one. It's just there to basically say, hey, you're on the direction of meeting your actual true twin flame. So again, this is my favorite though. And I want to go back to like your soulmate. And I know this sounds kind of weird. I had a little black Chihuahua, Carla. I love that dog. I believe, and this is just something that I believe, is, again, an animal technically could be a soulmate. And I believe that dog was technically like my soul dog mate. As funny as that may sound, I believe that. I believe that that was in my soul contract, that I had to learn something from that dog. I know a lot of people are like, okay, now you've just crossed the line of crazy, but honestly, I'm already crazy. So, sorry, I took a lot of notes here. Got so much. All right. Basically, a twin flame isn't about love, like I told you before, it's about truth. Twin flames can also cause radical personal awakenings for one another because they can see straight through to one another. So, basically, what I get out of that, and it's what I've done some work on that, is basically when if she's not on her A game, and I'll say this, when I trying to become a Reiki master, she very, very much encouraged it. And I think at that point, when I started doing that and I started having my awakening, I think that's when we truly, truly knew that this was it. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break here, and we will go right back in just a second.
Paranormal evidence. We scour the internet searching for true paranormal captures, information, and education. New methods mixed with old methods of capturing this mysterious phenomenon. Well, look no further for your ghostly voices than ghostly-voices.com. Nicole Tito and Lisa Crick take you on a journey into their paranormal world and provide you with true EVP and ITC audio captures, compelling information on debunking, some hilarious bloopers, and more. Remember, these two are veterans in the field and know how to capture the true evidence you are looking for. Ghostly-voices.com, your paranormal stop for true audio evidence. Ghostly-voices.com. A book of mystery, a book of one man's journey, a book of the afterlife, a book you must read. Ghost and Me by 5-time award-winning author Kevin Killen is a book of one man's journey in the search of the afterlife. Read of his chilling childhood experience, his investigative journeys, and his opinions of paranormal activity. Ghost and Me by Kevin Killen, an Ozark Mountain publication. Get your copy today online or wherever books are sold.
All right, everybody. Thanks for that little break there. So again, tonight we're talking about twin flames. And I just want to throw it out there. Again, remember, everybody listen on 9/11 on Saturday, 20 years later, a tribute. I'm going to keep telling you guys that. Okay, so let's get back into this really quickly. So, the purpose of a twin flame relationship is not about sex. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that on the radio, but I'm going to say it anyways. It is not about sex. It's about your emotional highs and an epic love story. That's not what it's about. Okay, it's just not. You know, this isn't The Notebook. But I will tell you that there's no love story between me and my twin flame. It's not like that. like I said, right now, she's got some stuff going on. I've got some stuff going on, and there's been text messages here and there. I will tell you that I did have a false twin flame before I met her, which I'm not going to go into that story. But it did happen. So it's basically about a wake-up call for your higher self. It's a gift of the presence by the divine. Honestly, like I said, it's just two souls that basically split in half, and they do mirror each other. And again, there's a lot of Facebook, tons of Facebook groups I'm part of, and it's also about like, oh well, they blocked me on DM, or they quit calling me, or I just don't understand why they won't leave their significant other for me, because that's not what it's about. It's just not. And like I said, I have a wonderful life partner. I love him. Sometimes, there's days, and I'm not a walk in the park either. And even my twin flame will tell you that, because usually, like I said, it's kind of one of those things. Like I tell her, hey, you screwed up. She'll tell me, hey, you screwed up. And she is my best friend. Just go to her with everything. But anyways, it is a gift from the divine. When you can only grasp fully when you've released all the smaller things you've been clinging to for so long that no longer serve you. That's making any sense. And again, in this way, well, life partner is just about cultivating a deep connection through shared love. That's the difference. And like I said, relationships in general are just hard. Whether it be your twin flame relationship, or whether it just be, I call them life partners, or your life partner relationship. And they're both hard. Again, I work harder at the relationship that I have with my life partner than I do my twin flame, relationship there, because I'm not 110% focused on that. I'm focused on what is going on in my household. So like I said, again, a twin flame is about shared pain through a deep connection, understanding and growth that really comes from that. It's really just cutting away the layers and the noise to get through to the truth. Basically the truth of your life and all the things as a whole. So kind of one of those things. Like I said, what she lacks, that's my strength. And what, her strength is, I lack. And that is a huge, huge thing. So again, you can have many, many soul relationships, soul partner relationships, whether it be your kids, an animal, and just Blojo down the road. Again, let's talk about the runner and the chaser for just a second. So again, sometimes I kind of run from that, that relationship, because sometimes it feels overbearing. And it's kind of one of those things like, I don't want you in my business and you're bothering me. And then we won't talk and it's just a couple weeks. And I know she probably feels the same way about me. I mean, I just texted her today. And when I have good news and so on and so forth, she's just a text message away. Also, again, do not leave your life partner just because you found your twin flame. The intent of that intent of a relationship is just It's crazy. And like I said, it's hard to explain because there is a lot of people are like, oh, I've met my twin flame. I've met my twin flame. No, I think you just fell in love just because you fell in love. And women are very much like that. We all know that. We fall, for some reason, we fall in love faster than men do. That's just I should say that's in my personal experience. But let's just be honest. Everything about women is just like so emotional. We're just emotional beings. So again, it's not that I don't love her. I think she's a great person. I really do. But as far as meeting a false twin flame, now, I will tell you this. It's just kind of one of those things. I met this person, and I'm going to just share my story. I met this person. I'm like, oh, okay, this seems very different than somebody that I would just randomly meet. And I thought for sure that this person was it. Okay. Now, mind you, I've been with my fiance for 15 years and he was married. Didn't really matter. Nobody was going to do anything with each other anyways. And I just thought to myself, there's something so different about this person. Just so different. Somebody that, funny, just kind of, yay. But in all actuality, if I didn't meet him, in a way, I wouldn't have realized that my twin flame was just kind of just sitting on the corner, not in the corner, but just sitting there on the sideline. And when I did have a conversation with her about my false twin flame, she was like, no, it just doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right. And then I realized that, again, I'm not naming any names, and I'm just going to bluntly tell you this. He started texting me, and things got weird. Okay, things got weird. And that's when I knew. I was like, nope, he wants something totally different than what I'm willing to give him. So again, that was how that one went. And like I said, this isn't a love story. It's really not. Everybody makes up their own love story when they're with the person that they're going to spend the rest of their life with, or however your relationships work. That's not my business. But like I said, please do not cheat on your partners. It's not right. We all know that. Again, that's that. So I want to kind of break into something else a little bit differently tonight, just now that I only got a half hour left, and I have to share this with you guys. And again, this is so off topic. Okay. So anybody that's friends with me on Facebook and anybody that knows me in general, and I'm going to talk about haunted dolls. I know it's the last half hour I'm going to talk about haunted dolls. I'm so sorry, guys, but I have to share this with you. I am part of this. And I really thought it was just a regular haunted doll group. Not reading the top of it, okay? And I'm going to say this, I did not read the top of it. I get so excited when a new doll's posted. I went ahead and bought this doll, and it was absolutely beautiful. Okay, absolutely beautiful. Turns out I should have read the description carefully. Very carefully, very, very carefully. So again, you guys can check out my Facebook page. She's on there. She's wearing a red dress. I went ahead, bought this doll, not thinking anything of it. Did not read the description. I'm like, I'm really drawn to this doll. I'm really drawn to this doll. Turns out there is 2 attachments to this doll. Now, I am still trying to figure this one out. Because the first home that she had, again, after I bought the doll, and it's already coming to my house, I read the description. Bad idea, don't ever do it. So it turns out that she supposedly And I'm saying she supposedly has, gives out these nightmares. And she is asking for blood. Okay, asking for blood. And I can't say it's her, it's the guy. I am not about to give a doll blood by any means. I'm not going to offer it blood. Okay, so I'm sitting here racking my brain, like, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Oh, I did it. So after working with this doll, again, they got the name Deb. Okay, I kept getting the name, I got the name Deb. Okay, but I also got the name Ben. Weird. Now, from what I'm understanding, after I had the conversation with the buyer, she got the doll at a flea market. Now, her other spirits in her home were claiming that she was demonic. And I thought to myself, there's no possible way that this doll is demonic. And she's not. I'm going to say that she is not demonic. But I will tell you this. She's different, or he, she, both of them, they're very much different. Now, have they asked for blood? Yes. And I was having this conversation with somebody, and I don't know why I didn't think about this. Now, when we were talking about vampires, I don't know why that came to my mind at first. I'm sorry, I have to laugh at myself, and I have to laugh at this conversation because I said, well, I was thinking maybe it was a vampire if it was asking for blood. Because again, I send a picture of any doll that I get to a friend of mine, and he does the same thing. We're constantly doing that. Like, oh, look what I picked up today. What do you think about this? Just random stuff. And I haven't bought a doll in a while. And I have probably close to 60. I know that's kind of outrageous. I was just told today that I had to get rid of some, but that's besides the point. But anyways, let's get back to Deb. She basically, Deb, was asking for blood. So I went ahead and I was like, I wonder if it's a vampire. So, a friend of mine is breaking this down for me, and he's like, why do you think it's a vampire? I'm like, because it's asking for blood. Really? He was like, no, it's not a vampire. He goes, have you ever found a doll that was a vampire? And I was like, no. He goes, why? And I was like, I don't know. He goes, do vampires have souls? And I was like, no. And then here's where, this is where it got a little weird. And I said, do vampires even exist? Which again, now is an ongoing joke between the two of us. Personally, I don't think vampires exist, but that's my opinion. I would love for somebody to say, hey, yes, they do. Because then again, I would probably go and investigate it just because that's who I am. But anyways, we still cannot figure out what kind of evil lives inside this doll. Like I said, I have worked with this doll. I have not had any bad dreams. My children don't have any bad dreams. And like I said before, I never, ever bring something into my home that I know that I can't handle. And this one, again, I should have never, ever bought without reading the description. And that's my suggestion to you guys. And I'm not just new to spirit keeping or whatnot, but it was funny. So we're still trying to figure out what exactly this doll is, because it's claiming that it's not human. But my other spirits dolls in my house are claiming, no, it's not a demon. Well, of course it's not a demon, but it wasn't human. So again, still working with her. She's absolutely beautiful. Those little cat balls that everybody has. I don't know if you guys have those or whatnot. I love them, especially with my spirit dolls, because I love the fact that they can light them up. That is a huge thing to me. And I know this sounds kind of weird, but sometimes they go off and I'm wondering, hey, did somebody accidentally do that? Or did is the batteries going dead? So then I start jumping up and down, like to make sure that it's not anything anybody's touching. I know I'm a line of crazy at this point. But like I said, she's absolutely beautiful. Because I'm one of those people, if I find the doll and I'm very drawn to that doll, I have to have it. There's just no getting around that. So, so we're still trying to figure out, what's going on here. So when I talked to Ben, and again, through Spirit Box, and I know a lot of people ask me, like, how do you talk to your dolls? Again, spirit dice, pendulums, boards, maybe telepathically, just depends on the doll. I guess it's just kind of one of those things. It's kind of what calls to you. I'm not, there's not, to me, there's no wrong way or a right way. It's just kind of what's there. So anyways, I have worked with this doll. This doll wants blood. And okay, now this is where it gets a little crazy. And I've thought about this. And I was like, I don't want to give this doll blood, but now I want to know how much blood it needs. Okay, now that I know is creepy, is very, very creepy. Not that I'm going to go ahead and give the doll blood, but I'm more than I'm more than willing to give it any kind of other offering. Like I have a Jen who loves whiskey and cigarettes, and I'm a smoker, so naturally I go ahead and I'm like, here's your cigarette, here's your whiskey. Now the cool thing about that was one day I thought, okay, I'm just going to offer him some whiskey. Probably he's not going to, drink it. And my sister-in-law, if she was here right now, she can, honest to God, will tell you that this seriously is what happened. You could see, like, every minute there was just and it wasn't a shot glass, by the way. And you could see the whiskey going down. And it was just the two of us there. So I know nobody else was drinking that. And I thought, oh, and that was like, that's what got me. I was like, yes, this is what I've been waiting for. And I know a lot of people have asked me, hey, like, why do you keep them? Because here's the thing. If they want to move on, I'm going to help them move on. I'm not here just to say, hey, this is fun and whatnot. Actually, the first doll that I ever got was actually kind of one of those things where I was like, oh, I'm going to get it and I'm going to help it move on. Let me tell you something. I got it off of eBay. That was the worst idea ever because I don't think that doll was even haunted. It was supposed to play knock knock with me, and I've had this doll, I'm telling you, like way over a year now, and it's done nothing. And I do recommend, and I'm saying if you do, definitely go to Home to Spirit. That's where all my dolls, my personal collection, kind of comes through. And like I said, it gets to be a lot of work having to work with all these dolls, and there is a limit. So I kind of do have to find new homes for some of them. Again, here we are. But anyways, so I was talking to Ben, okay, and all I'm kind of getting from Ben in this doll is basically, I'm just kind of here. I'm going to kind of cause havoc on your house. And I still have yet to see him cause any havoc in my home. Same with Deb, okay? She does not. And I don't want to say that I got had, okay? That's not what I'm saying, because this doll is very much haunted. But I don't think that it was wreaking havoc the way that, okay, maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I should say that sometimes when you get a haunted object or a haunted doll, that they technically, if they don't like your home, they're going to try to do everything that they possibly can to get out of that home. Not only that, but again, some dolls, I can't say dolls, some spirits do not get along. So now that you have all these spirits in your house, from, your vessels, because I'm always like, just go do what you're going to do. just don't mess with anybody in my household. That's fine. That's great. I have one that is protective of children and women. I have one that is, if you kind of mess with its owner, it gives you a really bad headache. But unfortunately, it doesn't give my mother-in-law a headache. I'm joking. I had to throw that joke in because I'm pretty sure she may be listening. But again, they don't technically get along. And if they don't get along, they're going to do and say whatever they want to do to get that other spirit out of that home and into a new home. And sometimes I've gotten a doll where it's like, you know what, I'm not dealing with the spirit. I think it's better off in a new home. And sometimes I still have questions. And I go to my friend Matt Warner and I'm like, hey, you know, this is what's going on. And he is like, maybe you just need to sage your house. Maybe you need to tell them to stop roaming around and they need to take a break. They're like children, you know, you have to lay he's like, you have to lay boundaries down. And that's where another cool thing comes in, because everyone's like, how do you do that? I'll tell you what, each doll is different. Each doll in my house, or I can't say doll, I keep saying doll. Each spirit doll that is in my home has certain rules. Just because I have one that, you know, I don't know. Okay, Charlie, for an example. You guys remember Charlie? I loved her. Still do. She has a whole different set of rules as a different doll would. I don't expect Curtis, for an example, to, you know, do what Charlie does, or I have a white witch on top of it. She's really pretty too, by the way. I don't expect, you know, her rules are different. And everybody's like, how do you determine that? Well, I have two, and I'm going to tell you this. I have two basic rules just in my house. One, you do not screw with my kids. We don't do that. Two, show me who you are. But again, I don't scare that easily. Just don't scare anybody else that comes into this house. Now, I will tell you this. One time, I was gone for, I want to say like a week. And all of a sudden, I come home, and for some period, my dolls are out, you know, whatever. And I swore, I was like, I've seen that shadow. Truthfully, I think maybe in my mind I did, but I was actually afraid of my own vessels. That to me was bizarre. But in a way, I kind of feel like they were kind of already mad at me. So I kind of rocked the boat by not being home. And it's kind of one of those things, like I said, I have to constantly, how can I word this? They're not toys. You can't just put them on the shelf and say, well, I hope you do something. You have to work with them. You have to build a relationship with them. And I know there is people out there that say, okay, there's no such thing. Oh, there's very much a such thing. The problem is where are you going to get a vessel that is actually haunted? And like I said, Spirit's a home. She is great. Alice is wonderful. Any questions that you may have, so on and so forth. But I will say this, they just don't mesh. Not all of them mesh. And I usually, kind of like a rule in my house, if it doesn't work in 2 weeks, it's probably not going to work. And I use that. I used to train hounds, so I kind of use that rule with a lot. Unfortunately, it does not work with your children. They're just kind of, they just kind of stay here. But so far, so good. I've had her for, I want to say 2 weeks. Again, she was supposedly giving a child bad dreams. Like she was showing this child what her father's death was like, asking for blood. Even though that she was put in the garage, supposedly her energy would come back and fight with the spirits in that person's house. And I will say that I really didn't think I was going to get this doll. I remember saying, hey, I'm interested. I want to know the price. And that was the end of it. I never got anything back. And then a week later, here I am. And I don't remember anything about this doll. And I probably did read about her, but I can tell you I probably didn't. It's kind of one of those things I go off of what I feel drawn to. And I really, really felt drawn to this doll. I just don't think that it's demonic. And that's another thing. I've noticed a lot of people selling like dolls that are demonic. Well, show me what you have for demonic. What is this doll doing? Can you prove it? I don't want to say that I'm a skeptic, but before you say that it's demonic, prove it to me. Okay. I usually do not tape any of my spirit sessions with my dolls. I actually thought about that too. But I just haven't. It's just kind of one of those things. I don't want to say boring. It's time consuming. And some people say they lost interest after 5 minutes, honestly. But it's something that I love. And I know you guys get so sick and tired of me talking about dolls, but it's one thing that I love so, so much. So that's that. And like I said, I've never, ever came across a doll that was truly, Annabelle's demonic, but again, I'm talking about eBay or Etsy or whatever. I know Home to Spirit, she does sell demonic dolls, and that is few and far between. And I'm telling you, they do not just go for $50. She's a little high end up there, but she's good at what she's a great seller, and her dolls are actually haunted. And in my personal collection, I've gotten rid of some of my other dolls and put pretty much all of her dolls in my personal collection, except for this new one that I just got, the one in the red dress. I didn't get her from there. I got her from a Facebook. Again, I don't know what I'm thinking about going to a demonic doll website, but again, I get curious. Some people on there I don't know. They claim that, and then you get the doll to your house. You're like, it's not demonic. There was no way. How did you get what you got? It's kind of one of those things. But I have 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes left, I don't believe. But I do want to, again, let you guys know that if you guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I know it's a holiday weekend, and I want everybody to be safe, and nobody wants to hear me ramble on about haunted dolls, because we could be here for hours. So I do want to let you guys know that, just a reminder, I will not be on next week. I have something going on, and I just want everybody to bear with me. Since school started and after school sports have started, after this month, it'll calm down a little bit. And on the 17th, I do have Missouri Paranormal Association on. They are a wonderful team. I mean, I personally have not worked with them yet. I've only had conversations with them, and I actually didn't think I was actually going to hear from them again. And we have some exciting news to let you guys know. And then on top of it, with that exciting news, there is going to be something way more exciting. So that we're going to do. And remember, if you can, every bit helps with the Patreon. It does help the station. It really does. And again, I know you guys are going to get, I'm not sick of letting you guys know, but remember on 9/11, which is on a Saturday, and I do believe, I can't remember the time, but you guys can go to the station page when you guys are checking out the Patreon thing too, to check out the 9/11 20 years later tribute. Can't talk. Please. Oh, I'm sorry. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's when it is. It's 8 p.m. Eastern time. Please check that out. Yeah, it's gonna be a good show. I promise you that it's gonna be a good show. But the station has some really cool things coming up too. So always keep track of that. But again, 8 p.m. Eastern time is your 9/11 20 years later a tribute. Don't miss it. Okay, because I'm not going to, and neither should you. So again, I will have Missouri Paranormal Association. We have some big news to share with you guys on the 17th. And I want you guys to have a very, very safe weekend. And remember, it's at 8 p.m. Eastern time for the 9/11 tribute. Sorry, I have to do that again. So I hope you guys have a good night. And I'm really sorry that I kind of just went into the haunted doll thing. I had to. She was sitting right there. So I will talk to you guys soon. And we'll have another show on the 17th.